Good evening, good night, really. It is June 13th, 2024. This is episode 197. Oh my gosh, we're almost to 200 episodes of the Paul Green Comedy PaulCast, a podcast for all you dreamers out there. I am a stand-up comedian and an actor, and out there trying to figure out this world of comedy and entertainment and understanding what it takes to go get your dreams in life, whatever your dreams may be. So, I've sort of flipped my schedule here. I used to, again, always try to release these the next morning after I would record them, but I sort of got 12 hours behind, and now I'm just releasing them at night so I can still keep my goal to do it every single day, which I have done. I have only released one episode, or I should say this, I have only not released an episode within a 24-hour period of one day. I got it out, I think, around like 12:30, like midnight, just past midnight. So I would say out of 197 days that I only missed one day by about 30 minutes. So anyway, I am just getting home after a huge show at JP's Comedy Club in Gilbert, Arizona, where we had the second live taping of the Midlife Crisis Comedy Podcast, which is another podcast I do with my buddy Josh Novi. We had a sold-out show, which was really cool, busting at the seams. Now, the show itself, I had some struggles, not gonna lie. So we tried a different format tonight. So when we did this a month ago, the inaugural, we actually booked a couple of comedians to open the show and to do a feature act. And then we had the club owner is a very funny comedian himself. And so he does some time. And then we came out and we did the podcast, which did work very well. However, tonight we wanted to see if it would work if me and my partner, Josh, if we were actually the opening stand-up acts. And just to see how that feels. Is it weird for us to both do stand-up and then sort of combine forces later to do the podcast format that we do? And jury's still out. So I went first. I pretty much started the show and hosted the show, which I thought would be fine and go well. It was a real struggle, actually. I was told by the club owner later that it just seemed that maybe the audience came into the club with just a certain energy, a bit of a standoff energy, which is what I felt when I was on stage. And I'll tell you, I'm learning something about myself. I think I might be neurotic. I laugh because it hurts. So I did about 10 minutes of stand-up. I really was struggling the whole way through. I didn't think the audience was with me at all. I got a couple of laughs on a couple of things, but I really don't think I did well overall, which really put me in my head and made me really nervous because I'm like, now I need to come back out in 20 minutes and do a whole other show in essence. So again, how it worked was I did stand-up, Josh did stand-up, the club owner did his stand-up routine, and then both Josh and I came back on, and ultimately, our format is I sit at a piano, Josh sits at a bench, and then we invite random people up on stage, and we talk to them and riff with them, and then we improvise a song about them. It's super fun. But because I struggled so much with my set, I, went back into the green room and, of course, stewed and got really worried. And in my head that I'm going, oh, my gosh, what if this whole thing tanks? I mean, Josh and I were slated to be on stage for 55 minutes together. And I didn't feel safe. I didn't feel loved or appreciated in my comedy. And so part of me was like, well, it must be the audience. Well, is it the audience or is it me? Because that's always the big question. Because sometimes there is such a thing as bad audiences. It's rarely the case, but it is sometimes the case. And then I'm in the green room and I'm hearing Josh just crushing it. And they love him and they're cracking up. And then the club owner gets up on stage and he's crushing it. And I'm sitting in the green room just hearing big laugh, big laugh, big laugh. And I'm going, oh, so it's me. So in the green room, my partner Josh, we were talking before it was our turn to go out together, and I was pretty not feeling all that great, and so he had to really tell me that I look pretty a lot, and then after the show. The club owner also had to reassure me about 17 times that I look pretty. And so while I was driving home and sort of dealing with this feeling of, it's a weird feeling I get when I get into this mode. Because it's like one thing that the show didn't get well, but it's the physiological reaction that my body has to that. And I'm sure it's some childhood thing that I haven't resolved in therapy yet. Isn't it always that? And, but that's when I started to realize I'm going like, wait a minute, am I neurotic? Am I like one of those like emotionally needy people that, needs to constantly be told he's funny and pretty and has value and is worthwhile? And I'm going like, oh, shoot, I think I might be. We're always learning stuff about ourselves, people. Always learning stuff about ourselves. And so that's just something that I really started to think about tonight. And after the show, I didn't go home right away. I actually went and got some food and then had my trusty notebook with me because I'm always writing. And so got out the old notebook. I started just trying to write some new jokes, some new ideas. And then I journaled a little bit. And I just started journaling about this notion that I might be a bit neurotic. And I don't know. I guess I never considered myself that way. I do know that I get annoyed by neurotic people. And I'm going, oh no. That means that I'm the annoying one. Oh, yeah, every time I talk to Paul, he just cries about how he's not funny, and I have to constantly reassure him, Paul, you're funny, Paul, you're funny. And I'm going, man, that must be a real annoying burden for for those in my life who I am subjecting them to that, playing that role. So I would like to see if I can not be that way. Or, work on it, improve, try to heal whatever is underneath those feelings. So that'll be a fun thing to work on. Then while I was eating and journaling about that, I just really started writing again and just going, okay, how can I make my writing more foolproof? How can I get a little more punchy? I talked to the club owner and he just mentioned, how important it is to get laughs or jokes every 15 to 20 seconds. And I kind of got away from that. And I'm going, yeah, it was also really fun hearing my buddy Josh Novi. It's been a long time since I've just heard him actually do stand-up while I'm there in front of a live audience. I see clips of his all the time. He's very active on social media. And I'm just going, this guy's really, really good. And he's really funny and he's killing it. And he's in his zone, and it was inspirational and discouraging at the same time. I don't know if you've ever had that experience to where you see somebody who's really good at something, so it's inspirational, but then at the same time, you're incredibly discouraged because you don't feel that you're there. And then it's going like, oh, I'm just not in that pocket. And I felt that way for both comics tonight. So again, Josh went up, did very well. Club owner went up. I thought he did really, really well, as he always does. And I'm just sitting in the green room going, I can't be the audience. I got to get funnier, I think. And so when I was writing tonight, I started to write with that in mind of just going, I just need to tighten up my writing and make it more foolproof, and just really try to find a way to come out just so much stronger and so much more lighthearted. I think I'm a little heavy. I've been doing this whole bit about, how marriage is intense because it's till death do us apart. And I have like 2 or 3 bits that's all like marriage and death, marriage and death, marriage and death. And after the show, I actually had an audience member walk up to me, and he just said, oh, my wife just died, and it was so hard hearing you just be like marriage and death and marriage and death. And he was actually being gracious. He wasn't trying to be critical. I just think he wanted me to know that was a struggle for him. And he wasn't mean about it. He wasn't mean-spirited. He wasn't complaining per se. He wasn't like, you really shouldn't be doing whatever. It was just like this guy just missed his wife, and then all I did for the first 2 minutes is talk about how marriage doesn't end until you're dead. And you could tell that this guy really loved his wife and that he was grieving and really grappling with it. And when I was doing that material, I felt a pullback from the audience. Now, it was a much older audience. So now that I'm overthinking it because I get in my head and stuff, I'm going like, there might be a lot of widows in that audience, at the age of, it was an older median age. It just felt like. And so it's like everybody's either married. There were a lot of married people there, or like this guy is like widowed. And I don't know. I think that could play into it a little bit. Yeah, that was hard for me. Hard for him as well. But, I just went, man, I didn't feel good about this set already. And now I'm getting feedback that I'm like poking a open wound of a grieving widow. Is it a widower when it's the dude? So anyway, I was thinking about that too and just going like, man, do I want to be that heavy? And I don't think I do, honestly. I would rather lighten it up a little bit. And so, anyway, so I just started rewriting that bit and just trying to determine if I even really want to, keep doing that part of it. And not necessarily because like one audience member, because I have done that bit for a lot of audiences that loved it and laughed a lot, but I don't know. But there has been something missing, and I've just been trying really hard to see if I could figure out how to make it all work. And it's been like 2 months. The bit has done well in some circumstances. It has not gone well in others. And so it's just another opportunity for me to go, is there something else or a better way or a different way to approach this that is more bulletproof? Now, no joke is ubiquitously funny in all circumstances and all audiences, but But I do think that there's a disconnect here with this current material, and I really made a commitment to myself 2 months ago when I started over anyway, when I didn't throw it out, when I just said, I'm not going to do any of this old material and I'm going to rewrite from scratch, that I was just going to set a higher standard and learn to write great jokes and be okay with letting go of good jokes. And I think this is just another bit that just has too many good or decent jokes in it and not enough great jokes. And not a big deal is what I'm trying to tell the neurotic side of me. Dude, not a big deal. It's one show. It's just information. It didn't go well. Maybe that bit isn't that great. So what? Either lose it, rewrite it, or, start over, whatever. Just don't make such a big deal. It's really heavy. I was feeling so bad. I'm feeling better now. And hopefully I will start to be more cognizant of my neuroticism and see if I can get underneath that and be less annoying to my friends who were so great and so gracious and very complimentary and encouraging to me tonight when I felt having an off night. But the good news is, by the time we got around to the podcast, me and Josh came back on stage. The audience was warm because Josh and the club owner did so well. And I was a little, in my head, still a little kind of like, yeah, well, they like you guys, but I don't think they like me. So I kind of let Josh sort of drive the bus a little bit. And it took a while, but I started to feel like I was able to resonate with them, and I got some laughs. And overall, I think the show went very well. We're pretty much doing a live improvised show. Josh and I have no material. We just get up there and we riff with the audience, and then we improvise our songs. And so we really have no idea how it's going to go. And we're only 2 live shows under our belt. So we still have a lot to learn and a lot to improve upon and correct. But I do think that we have something very special. It's very fun sharing the stage with him. We had a really cool moment tonight where we literally read each other's minds. Somehow we got on the topic of this woman who said that her car looked like a frog. It was a toy car that we gave her as part of the show, and she said, "Yeah, my car looks like a toy," my car looks like a frog. So then me and Josh spontaneously started singing "Baby, You Can Drive My Frog," which is, of course, the Beatles song, "Baby, You Can Drive My Car." And we just started singing, "Baby, You Can Drive My Frog." And instinctively, when we got to the beep, 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 yeah, we both went, ribbit, ribbit, yeah. And we were just both on the same page. And that was a really cool moment. So everybody, I am going to try to be less neurotic and less emotionally unstable when it comes to me managing my emotions after a show that or a stand-up set that I feel should have gone better. And hopefully that'll be less annoying to all my friends. So that is the update today as I continue this journey of following my dreams. I hope all of your dreams are going well. They are coming true. And that any sort of emotional setbacks that maybe you have, or that voice that's telling you you can't do it, or you're not good enough, or this enough, or that enough, hopefully we can all push through that together and keep moving forward in pursuit of what is calling to us. And I hope that your dreams are coming true. All right, everybody. So that is the update for today, June 13th, 2024, episode 197 of the Paul Green Comedy PaulCast. I love you all so much, and I will check in with you tomorrow.